Joining me now, knows much more about all this stuff, is Congressman Claudia Tenney, the incomparable Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Claudia, I wanted you to come in and talk about impeachment. We'll get to that in a minute. But as you know, this trial kind of blew up today, or this hearing blew up today. Wanted to get your take on that. And the last thing that Hillary Vaughn mentioned, I mean, if you had a trial, you could have discovery. And if you have discovery, you could go back and start looking at all the tax fraud matters and related issues that we should have looked at in the first place. I don't know. What are you thinking?
Exactly. And that's exactly why this judge did the right thing today. This plea deal was premature. It was thrown in there at the last minute when we gave notice on the Ways and Means Committee, and Jason Smith, chairman, put out that we were going to have these whistleblowers come forward and we were going to release their testimony. And all of a sudden, this plea deal was cobbled together and thrown out. I think that the Department of Justice should withdraw the plea deal. It's already been eliminated today. But now, what are we looking at, Larry? We've got to go back and see the slow walking that the whistleblowers revealed. The fact that the 2014, the 2015, and the tax returns, each one was prevented from getting investigated by the whistleblowers so that we could hold Hunter Biden accountable for the millions of dollars. But this is really bigger. It's about Joe Biden, because guess what? Blowing up this plea deal means we can go back and get more information. We can get the discovery that we need to show that Joe Biden is really the one behind this. He used his son Hunter, who is troubled, to get and enrich himself and his family. I mean, what other reason? Hunter Biden admits on national TV that the whole reason he got on these boards was because his name was Biden and he was related to the Vice President of the United States, former senator, now president. That's what it's all about. It's Joe Biden. And this is a bad day for Joe Biden. And the Democrats are scrambling because, we might get more information. We might actually get an impeachment, potentially of Merrick Garland, of Joe Biden. And they have to find another nominee or someone to put on the ticket for 2024.
You know, this judge must be very cool, because here's one of the logic today. Okay, I don't know any legal stuff at all, but she's saying the judge questioned the single deal related to each of the two charges. So they made one big deal out of two completely different charges. One was the illegal gun charge, and the other was the tax evasion charge. Now, that was weird to begin with. It's like nobody pointed it out, but the emperor has no clothes, and this judge blew it up. And so I don't know how you glue this back together again. I mean, the Justice Department, right? This is Joe Biden, Merrick Garland's Justice Department. This is Jack Smith's Justice Department. They're not going to want to prosecute the case. But at least you have one judge in Delaware, which is a Biden fiefdom, who has raised the right question.
Yeah, exactly. And this also prevents them from trying to, I think they wanted this to all just go away. The news cycle would have said, oh, these charges were accepted, it's all over, we're done. But actually not. Now we can go back and look at the Foreign Agent Registration Act violation. The judge raised that. You had the attorney for Hunter Biden making a fraudulent phone call pretending to be Jason Smith's office, the chair of the Ways and Means Committee, which the judge blew up. And all this got really dirty really fast. And I think as we continue to open up this can of worms, it's going to get even dirtier. Dirty cop Merrick Garland's going to get exposed. You're going to see that Joe Biden was part of this all together. Devin Archer's going to testify next week that Joe Biden was part and parcel. As we know, we all know this is the truth, Larry. You and I have talked about this numerous times. This is about Joe Biden. It's not about Hunter. It's about Joe Biden using his position, using his relationship as vice president, as president now, or was before that, to enrich himself. You don't live like Joe Biden lives on the salary of senators and members of Congress, okay? Many members of Congress live in their offices because they can't afford to buy rich, fancy houses in Delaware and on the Delaware coast in Rehoboth Beach like Joe Biden does. And that's because he's able to use his family to enrich himself and the rest of the family. That's where we're going with this. And I think this was a big bombshell today that is going to lead us to that path.
You know, that point, though, your last point, it's so true. I mean, you're a House member, Senator. You don't get rich. You don't buy $2-3 million estates on the beach or $2-3 million rehabs in Wilmington, Delaware. You know, Claudia, I was down there for 3 years serving in the federal government. My wife and I, we had to dip into our savings. You do not get rich if you're honest anyway. So there's that point. I think that's a good common sense point. The other thing is, look, on this impeachment inquiry, now, Speaker McCarthy made a very strong statement. I don't know if we have the sound tonight or not, but he said it on Sean Hannity's show. Do we have the sound tonight? All right, Claudia, hang on one second. We're going to play Kevin McCarthy's statement. I believe it was on my pal Hannity's show. Here it comes.
This is rising to the level of impeachment inquiry, which provides Congress the strongest power to get the rest of the knowledge and information needed. Because this president has also used something we have not seen since Richard Nixon, used the weaponization of government to benefit his family and deny Congress the ability to have the oversight. I believe we will follow this all the way to the end, and this is going to rise to an impeachment inquiry the way the Constitution tells us to do this.
All right, Claudia Tenney, impeachment inquiry. Can you kind of walk us through what that means?
Right. Kevin is exactly. Here's what's happening. We have to look into what's going on with Joe Biden. That's our function as oversight. And the Department of Justice, under the purview of Joe Biden, the FBI, under the purview of Joe Biden, has been exposed by the IRS being under the purview of the Ways and Means Committee and our oversight and our ability to put these whistleblowers and have them come forward, the suspicious activity reports, now the explosive document released by Senator Grassley. You put all this together, the text message where Hunter Biden is saying, my dad's part of this, Devin Archer's testimony, yes, it's all leading to an impeachment. And that's why I think we need to open this up, go down the road and realize that Joe Biden is corrupt. He's committed multiple crimes that I think that we're going to expose for real, not the kind of crap that they brought against President Trump, but this is real stuff. And again, I know that Kevin mentioned Richard Nixon. Let's talk about that. Richard Nixon didn't commit a crime. He committed a cover-up, which is what caused him to be face impeachment. Joe Biden committed crimes, and he's committing the cover-up using the DOJ and the FBI and the IRS, which is weaponization. That's what we're going to go for. I think it's time. And not to mention, I think Merrick Garland has to be included in this. This is the guy slow walking. This is the guy who's manipulating Attorney General Weiss in Delaware County, in Delaware, the state of Delaware. This is all part of the mix. And I think that the people of this country need to see there is a distinction. This is a corrupt government. These are corrupt people, and they need to be held accountable. And that's what we're aiming for. Judge Noriega today made a huge step in opening up this system and showing that we do, in fact, have a justice system. There is a God, Larry. There is someone who says America needs to stand on the rule of law, and I think that was just a small step today that could open up a real can of worms that could be really problematic for Joe Biden and his family. I
really want to see this thing go to trial, but you're right.
Me too.
The impeachment, some kind of impeachment inquiry process, all these things are stacking up. You've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks. That's why it was good to have you today to talk some more after this big decision. But you know, Claudia, you have these senior IRS investigators who became whistleblowers. These are very experienced people. You also have a very credible IRS, FBI informant who was hand in glove with the head of Burisma. One of the things that needs to, I don't know how you surface this, but the charge from the FBI 1023s and from this senior FBI informant was that it wasn't the Burisma CEO that was bribing Joe Biden so much to get rid of the prosecutor. It was Joe Biden who was coercing and shaking down the senior Burisma CEO. I mean, that's like a whole different story. And you add that to all the money laundering and the Treasury accounts and the direct bank accounts that you're talking about and the influence peddling. And this is all about 2014 and 2015, which was ruled out of bounds for Hunter Biden's trial. That's got to come back in bounds. That's got to be put back on the playing field so we can all see, because that's when Biden was vice president. So I'll give you the last word on this. This is what the impeachment might show. Is that right?
That's exactly it, Larry. This is the arrogance before the fall. Joe Biden arrogantly, publicly said, you know, we got him fired. What the heck, or whatever he said. That is exactly what's going on, and we have got to show that he is the one that engaged in this illegal behavior. It's money laundering, it's bribery, it's extortion, it's all of those things, which are federal crimes. Remember, high crimes and misdemeanors. Joe Biden has committed those when you look at the impeachment statute. So we're on our way there, and I think it has to happen just for the. I mean, it's not a personal thing. It's just about holding up the integrity of our nation and our rule of law. And I think we saw that happen today. It was a good sign today.
All right.
Thanks, Larry.
Superstar, incomparable Claudia Tenney. Thank you ever so much. We appreciate it.